Welcome back to this Friday preview show in association with Lee Spirits. Matty,
Hello, and I am Colin.
how are you doing today, Colin?
All right, mate. I've been off the day, so decent.
And you were a bit out gigging last night. You missed the phone in.
I did. I've not listened yet. Actually, was it any good?
It was good. It was a quieter one than normal. We had
Aye.
Ian and Joe and Tracy on. It's just the four of
Uh-huh.
us on. But it was good. Good crack.
Intimate.
Nice. Aye. And positive as well because we were talking about a win, obviously, which doesn't.
That's why folk aren't as interested. Like I've flippantly said that tongue in cheek and all that in the past.
Aye.
When we're getting beat, that's when we get our highest interaction.
I was saying that we were joking about it on the phone in as well.
Hmm.
Right, what we're doing the previous show, so we're away to Celtic tomorrow, which is a bit of a pisser because we're on the back of a really good result and a quite a good result against Aberdeen. Uh, Definitely too much improved performances from what we've seen in recent weeks. So it's got the potential to be a bit of a momentum killer. Let's have a look at the team that you've picked to go and face Celtic, and uh, we'll talk through it. So. Uh, this is your team, Colin. Talk me through it.
Aye. So I've tried not to change it too much, but I think I was actually considering going 5-4-1, right, but I stuck with this 5-3-2, 3-5-2, whatever you want to call it. I'm
Mhm.
just having the two fullbacks sitting deeper. So I'm keeping the keeper, obviously, in goals. And I've got to take my specs off because you can't fucking see it. Right. Cadden at right back, and I brought a beater back in at left back or left wing back, whatever you want to call it, with the same three centre halves. So O'Hara, Bashiri, and Iredale. I think most folk will pick that. Miller might be an option to go on the right hand side.
Uh-huh.
In the midfield, we've not got Kwon because obviously he plays for Celtic, and we've not got Neil because of suspension. So
There
what
is
what I
Neil
done
suspended. I don't think he is.
is he not?
No, I think yeah, I think he's under the threshold. So I have been informed and misinformed on this already. So I've got Neil on my team as a spoiler for
Right.
when we get
So
there. But
Neil's in my
I,
team if
uh-huh.
he's fit, if he's available. Then I thought he was out, and I don't know why I thought that. I've got, it's too hard. Like 2 weeks in a row, we've had somebody suspended that isn't he? And like, but then that's
Aye.
what we get for doing listening to the mainstream media, isn't
Yep. Exactly.
it? So if Neil's fit, I'm taking Campbell out, right? But if Neil's not available, I should
Available.
say rather than fit, Neil's in. If not, it's Campbell, Triantis, and Nicky Cadden. And I didn't want to drop Cadden. He's obviously been sort of, do you want to call him a talisman? I don't know. He's been important to the team over the last few weeks, including even the St Mirren game when we lost. That he nearly got us back in it. We one goal and then one that got chopped off in injury time. I didn't want to take Juan out of the team, so I've left him in because I think we still need a bit of pace and hopefully creativity or something there. And then the big man up front just to bully them about a bit, hopefully. Um, so, aye, that's what I couldn't take Cadden out. I didn't want to play Cadden at left wing back in this game. I just thought we would lose his going forward stuff, and I don't know if he's. I think I can see the wing backs being more defensive in this game.
Yeah.
So I've got a defender and that can maybe get forward a bit rather than a forward that needs to get back.
I quite like the defensive shape there. So I think Celtic attack you down the wings a lot, don't they? Like they've got Kuhn on one side and Maida on the other, assuming both of them start. But even if it's not, you've got boys like James Forrest who will come in, and
Mm.
he generally seems to have quite a good game against us.
I just think we need
Um,
to be tight, keep it tight for straight, do
Aye,
that all that boring stuff. I think the midfield, like I don't know, I had to put Campbell in for his legs, for the work rate, and that's why then you're kind of relying on Cadden and Yuan to maybe provide the spark for goals in that.
mm,
Although Campbell scored last week, but you know what I mean. I think his work rate in these games is his biggest strength.
aye. Uh, Three in midfield.
Uh-huh.
Do you know that's enough for Celtic? I think the fact that we've got five defenders, we're just going to stay pretty compact and have that sort of
Yeah,
what would they call it, a low block.
I'm going to no, I'm kind of saying to Cadden and Obita to get forward a bit, just no get forward as in play as a midfielder, like in a 3-5-2, be more
Mm.
a defensive wing back rather than attack. But I still want them to get forward if they can and where they can. But I've just set it up like that because to show it's more of a defence minded formation. But I think you could call it a 3-5-2 if you want. I just don't want the
Aye,
fullbacks bombing on all the time because I think they'd get picked off in big gaps. We saw that in the Aberdeen game, especially down the left. when it was Cadden that went there, and Iredale who had had a good game. Then was something to come out for centre back to that left right winger that came on for Aberdeen and seemed to get a lot of time and space. And I think a lot of that was due to Cadden being further forward.
Aye. Do you know what this needs with the graphics? Do you remember old Football Manager? And if you had your formation like this, and you right click the button on it, you could drag like the line to see where they would run to.
An arrow.
Aye. So you'd have like a wee arrow. So for Cadden or Beta, you could, if it was a shitty team we were playing, you'd have the arrow going right the way down to like in line with Yuan and Kukovic. But for this one, you're probably only drawing Cadden's line down to Campbell.
Yeah.
Aye. That's pretty much what you're meaning, eh? Like you can come
Aye.
forward into the midfield, but
Yeah.
then he become a winger.
Correct. That's kind of what I'm meaning. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they should bring that back for Football Manager, by the way, if anybody for whoever makes Football Managers watching. Like, bring back
They
the
never
wee
even
yellow
got.
arrows.
They never even got a game out this year, did they? I saw loads of folk
Aye.
murmuring about it.
They'll just have to wait till next year. Just play last year's one, play another season.
Too hard, eh? How is
Uh,
it too hard to get a game out? Like what the
Again,
fuck?
change the
Like,
names.
it's their job. It's the basics.
It's the basics. It's a mentality issue, Colin. Is
It
this what
must be.
you're driving it?
Yeah.
Right, this is Joe Capaldi from off the phone in. He emailed us a team earlier on, so not a great deal of difference for you. I think what we get for Joe, he likes Levitt in that number 10 position, so I couldn't figure out in the Hibs app how to get a 10 in there.
Is there a 3-4-1-2 option?
I couldn't see it,
Yeah.
but in fairness, I was doing this pretty much just before we came on.
Just
So,
last minute
aye,
stuff.
that's
Yeah.
it. So it's been working the day.
All right.
Aye, some of us have like full time jobs as well to do as well as this nonsense. Uh, so I think that Bashiri, O'Hora, Iredale, those three are pretty much nailed on. And I think after the last couple of games, it's going to take a bit to unsettle that. He's going for the Caddens on both flanks, Chiantis, Levitt, and Newell. And then the difference is got Gale and Yuan. But what do you think Gale's starting ahead of Kukovic, Colin?
I thought about it because he's had a couple of assists in that in the last two games, hasn't he? But that's
Mm-hmm.
both from the bench, maybe when teams are tiring and stuff as well. I don't know. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. It's just that I thought be physical, start off physical, put yourself a bit of it, and I think we'd get hopefully because Kukovic is a bigger gadge that he would do that more than Gale, and Gale
Mm-hmm.
would come in and do a bit of trickery and maybe create something later.
It feels like it's a game where we're not going to get a lot of chances, right? We generally don't. And I think there's maybe an advantage in having Gale. Gale's only scored the one goal against Dundee United, was it? He scored at Tannadice?
I can't remember. He did score one. I can't remember who it was
It was
against.
like back post header, wasn't it? I want
Yeah.
to say it's Tannadice, but I can't remember. Um, but he's also missed a couple of good chances as well.
Yeah.
And when it's at a premium, it's just whether or not I trust him more than Kukovic to finish the chances we get, and I probably do. And I think if that's been unfair on Miko. But I think I would rather go Gale and Yuan than Miko and Yuan, at least to start with. So I think with Gale, you get used to him coming off the bench, but I think you could probably get 70 minutes out of him. Like if you think you can get 90 minutes, you could probably get 60, 70 minutes out of him. I don't think
I
he's just like a 20-minute player.
I'm not. I don't think it's. I don't think it's an obvious pick either of them at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. You know, it's kind of a bit of 50-50 for the manager, depending on what he's looking for. You know, maybe he thinks he needs physicality or he needs whatever Gill would bring. You know, trickery
Yeah,
or pace or whatever one it is he brings. So I don't know. I'm not really that bothered which one starts.
fair enough. Then we also had Roboitos, um, who sent us this on Blue Sky. He's gone for Smith and goals, Ardale, O'Hora, Bashiri, Lewis Miller instead of Chris Cadden on the right hand side, Chiantis and Nicky Cadden on the left, Newland Hoylett sitting just in front of Chiantis, and Kukovic and Yuan. I think it's a bit more of a positive team. This one, Colin, a bit more attacking intent in it. What do you think?
Yeah, it is, and that's what Hoylett was the one that I was like, how do I fit him in? But I went for a beater, taking Cadden's place, and then Cadden effectively taking Hoylett's place, and so that's how it. So for me to bring a beater back, Hoylett lost out effectively. Um, in my side. He's been decent, but again, I think he doesn't ever play a full game. So I think if he could play the last 30 or something, and if we can keep it tight for 30, for 60 minutes, and then bring him and Gale on, then it brings a bit more opportunity. Then
And I quite like. I just think I've not picked him for my team, which will come on in a wee second. But Lewis Miller always seems to do quite well against Maida,
mm.
and I think that's it's quite an astute choice to put him in there. I think Cadden will do all right as well, but there's just something about that matchup. I always think Miller sort of relishes the sort of the physical side of playing against Maida, and
Yeah. Do you think is Miller? So I'm saying we should go more defensive, in our wing backs. Is Miller a better defender than Cadden? And Cadden's better at getting forward, do you think? So maybe Miller would have been a better choice for me as well.
I don't know. I don't think either of them are great defenders. Right? To be fair, I think they both have strengths going forward. I think Cadden gives us a bit more than Miller does going forward in
Mm.
terms of like quality of his final ball. Um, but yeah, I probably would trust Miller better, or more in the defensive sense in this game against that opposition. I
I
think.
didn't really consider it. I went down with and now I'm thinking should I have.
Mm-hmm. I said
I'm
to you.
I'm no Miller's biggest fan, but you're right. I think if it is a more, am I contradicting myself by saying we're picking a more defensive lineup and then not picking a better defender for that position after picking a beat ahead of Cadden for that reason?
Aye,
Um,
I have to
so
say I would not be upset at all with this lineup. If that
mhm,
had started, I would be looking at it and going, aye. I think out the three we've seen so far, this is probably my favourite one.
yeah,
And I actually think I'm probably going to prefer it to the one that I picked. Right, so this is mine. Smith and goals, Ardale, Lahora, and Bushiri. I've got Chris Cadden, Chantis, Mariah Welsh, Newell, and Nicky Cadden,
mhm.
um,
And Boyle
and
up front.
Ewan and Boyle. Aye. So my thinking here is Mariah Welsh for his energy. Right, so we need somebody to close down Callum McGregor and just stay on him. And McGregor runs about a lot. Um, and I think Mariah Welsh could do that job. Just to go and look after him, make sure wherever he goes, you go. Um, and then let Chantis and you do the other sort of picking up the loose balls around about the middle of the park. Nicky Cadden, Chris Cadden on the left and right. I think Nicky Cadden's good in that position. I do worry that he's maybe not quite as good for the defensive side of it. So you picked Nicky Cadden and you had Obita tucked in behind him, which I quite like the logic behind that. But I think I'd be all right with that. Like Nicky Cadden there, I think he can go get back and defend, but he gives us a bit of an outlet going forward as well. And then Yuan and Boyle. So somebody just Derek McCann's asked, or sorry, it's G. Is said is Boyle not out with another injury? I think Boyle was injured now, was he?
No,
Is he
watched the
not?
press conference, mate. I
Uh,
didn't. I don't know. Played last week, though, didn't he?
mm,
And I don't think he went off injury. He came on for the last 10 minutes or so. But whether he got injured or not, I don't know, and I've not watched the press
yeah.
conference. But then, I'm not going to be informed on that. I didn't even know Newell was available. So
Um,
coming to the wrong
what
place if you want facts. Like,
what I was thinking about having Yuan and Boyle was just having the pace
mm,
at the top. So I think Liam Scales, I don't think played against Aberdeen in midweek. So I think Rodgers will shift it around a wee bit. Scales is a weak link in that Celtic defence, I think, and I would put Yuan and Boyle and just tell them whenever one of these isn't on him, the other one go right up against him and try and get him turned and get him behind because he's a liability. Um,
yeah.
and
And
that,
what?
that
No, I agree. Sorry about that. Carry on with your point. I'll come with my next question.
as I say, I think that's where Celtic's vulnerability will be is they push high up the pitch, and if we can catch them high up the
Decent
pitch
back.
and get Boyle and Yuan in behind them, then
Mm.
we've got a chance, especially because we'll be defending quite deep, I think. And uh, I would rather have Boyle and Yuan turning and chasing their own sort of knockdowns than Kukovic just kind of losing headers in the middle of the pitch and the ball going straight back to Celtic anyway.
He might win headers in the middle of the pitch. But what was your thinking with Mariah Welsh ahead of Campbell in the run about role?
I think it's better at it. I,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that. Like, I didn't mind Josh Campbell, and you'd probably need both of them because I don't think you're going to do it for 90 minutes and
Mm.
no tire. So maybe an option for Campbell to come off the bench. But I was looking at it, I was like, ideally you would have put Quan in there, but Quan can't play. So
Yeah.
the I was like, well, who else gives you that sort of level of energy? And Mariah Welsh is there. I quite like Mariah Welsh as a player as well. I'm a wee bit disappointed that he's fallen right out of the team.
It's a
So
strange one, eh? I
aye.
think we've said it before, but I don't know if we've said it on the podcast. We've definitely spoke to you about it, how he came in and he was really quite highly rated by everybody,
Mhm.
and then he's not even on. Well, he was on the bench, was it the Derby, and then really seen again.
Aye, and I think I almost think it's disappointing when you have that, but like a player comes in, you have high hopes for them, and then they just kind of fall off the radar. He needs a
Aye,
chance at some point. We've got him on a permanent contract. We might as well play him and try and get him into the team. Uh, I think he gives us a bit more. It has a bit more impact than Levitt. Like I know Joe's big on playing Levitt in that number 10 role. I probably wouldn't bother with the number 10. I would just try and kind of crowd out the midfield
aye,
and sort of spring forward when we get the ball, but kind of defend quite compact. Um, and then just try to take advantage of that pace for Ewan and Boyle up top and trouble Celtic that way. Because if it like Carter Vickers will play, we're not going to win much in the air against him. And then I think he's a cracking defender, probably the best centre half in the league. Um, so try to beat them another way and use the pace. I think Aberdeen got at them. We're running at them. They were quite direct and tried
mhm,
to get Celtic turned on. What night did they play? Was that Tuesday night?
yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday night? Aye, and I thought they were quite effective in doing it. Although they got beat, it wasn't like a walkover. And obviously the conditions in that were awful up at Pittodrie, but Aberdeen used their speed and attacked quickly, and Celtic struggled with it at times. So right, let's have a look at the form guide
It's
for
maybe better to look at than it's been.
Colin. It's night and I was going to say night and day, almost night and day from what we're used to. Yeah, it's going to clear this wee fucking advert popped up from nowhere here. So here's the form guide. You see Celtic at the top right. No real surprises there. You'd expect Celtic to be up there.
That's fucking flying high.
Aye, but we're at the head of heights at eighth.
Mm.
Um, with 6 points.
Only 2 defeats in the last six.
Aye, that's not bad, eh?
No,
Not
not
bad.
at
I mean,
all.
they were bad defeats, but uh, only two. You look at Celtic are just pumping teams, yeah, like a 3-0, 2-0, 2-0, 4-1, 5-0, 1-0. And the 1-0, I think you almost that was like I just get the result and get out of there because of the way that the weather was. Um,
See, Dell's struggling at the bottom there, eh? I'm sure he'll turn it around. They've got a good identity and a
aye,
rating. He's a good manager, etc.,
good
etc.
good football man
Yeah.
is Dell. Uh, aye, so what were you thinking? Should we be worried?
But what? Celtic?
Aye,
Aye, no, I worried, but just the usual. I mean, it's not any different to normal. I mean, we've played them twice already. We've lost twice, but it's not been like we've not been on the end of an absolute scudding. I think we can go there and try and contain them a bit and keep the score down, or maybe get a draw. I don't. That's what I'd like. I don't want us to go there and get hammering because I think that deflates everybody a wee bit, but also it deflates the people that are looking on the positive, but it feeds the folk that are looking at the negative as
aye.
well. So good performance. When we went to Ibrox, and I'm not wanting this right, we went to Ibrox, we had a good performance. We should have done better, and we lost 1-0. People were quite happy after that.
Mhm.
Not in a accepting mediocrity style, but in a that was all right. Like we're maybe not that bad manner, and I think the odds are we'll lose to Celtic, but it's the manner of the performance and the result that'll have the biggest impact here for where we go next.
Aye. And I think the key thing for me is to not do what we did the last two games against them and concede right at the start of the game. Because I think we
Yeah.
were 3 minutes and 5 minutes or something like that we'd conceded. And your game plan's out the window at that point. Like the longer you can kind of frustrate Celtic, the better. We do have that clean sheet. In fact, there's two clean sheets in our last 6 games, one against Ross County and one against Motherwell. But we've also conceded a lot of goals in other games, like 3 and a 4 and a 2 in amongst there. it's no normally like a good recipe, is it? Like when you've got one team that's great at scoring and one team that's no great at keeping them out.
Mm.
Um, it does have potential to be quite a dull one if the players aren't switched on. But like you said, they never hammered us last two games that we played them. We should take some confidence for that. And I think if we turn up, it will probably get beat. But maybe
It
not.
depends how Celtic turn up. I mean, have they got the European game midweek as well? They had the game midweek past, and I know they've got a big enough squad that they can handle it and that. But
I think
with
Celtic now are midweek weekend all the way through, pretty much to
they're away to
whenever. Aye,
Dynamo Zagreb on Tuesday night. So, and it's an early game, so whether or not what that means, but I don't know if they'll chop and change their team a wee bit. You know how they get a bit technical, coaches not now about rest and game time
aye.
and all that. Fingers crossed, eh? If you've away to Aberdeen, home to us, and then away to Dynamo Zagreb, you'd think we would have prioritised the other two above us because we're bottom of the league, well, second bottom of the league.
Hmm. And I suppose maybe that the fact that they beat Aberdeen, who have been on their coattails for a lot of the season, on Wednesday night, they have that bit of breathing space in the league now that they probably
Yeah,
can play this game with an eye on their
but
European game
play
in
the likes of
midweek.
McCowan and that, the boys, like all the ones that
Aye,
just kick a book.
aye.
That's the thing though, eh? It's like a guy we would have signed, maybe even like been up there as like vice captain or captain
Mhm.
material, starting every game, main man in the team, build it around them. We're saying they might just play him against us because they're resting the big boys for the midweek game.
Aye, they're good players, are
Uh,
they needing to play? Right, score prediction, Colin.
um, I think we'll get beat 2-1, but I'm hoping for a 1-0.
I think it'll be. I think it'll be about 3-0.
Yeah,
I
yes.
no, I
Oh,
think it'll be a 3-0. Will not be shite, but will not be good either. It'll be one of those ones that you're like any team going to Celtic and coming away with a 3-0 that just it's a routine victory for Celtic, nothing to write home about for anybody, and immediately forgotten by us as we look forward to Ross County the next game
3
week.
nils Virgin on the drums getting battered again about.
If 4-0 is definite, 3-0 I think it because of where Celtic are and what they're doing to teams. I think if you get 3-0 away, 3-0 Easter Road's a different story. 3-0
Mm,
away, I don't think anybody's raising an eyebrow at that. I think it's not a good result and not really an acceptable one, but I think most folk would could just shrug their shoulders and move on.
mm,
Four or more, different story. Um, two or less, probably quite happy with it.
yeah, yeah.
Almost.
I know it's a bit shite when you're speaking like that, but I think it's realism, isn't it?
That's exactly it. It's kind of where it's not even a two horse race in Scotland anymore. It's a one horse race.
No.
Celtic are on a different level for everybody else. We saw Aberdeen did it though. They went and got 2-2 for two
Yeah.
goals down as well. I think that's the other thing Hibs need to look at and say, like, well, even if you go behind, it doesn't mean the game's done. Keep playing and see what happens.
I think it's complacency. We need to be at a top game, playing for each other, playing for the manager, getting stuck in, running a bit, working hard, and hope that they've got their eyes elsewhere, or they've got maybe combinations that didn't normally play because they're resting,
Mhm.
McGregor or somebody for Zagreb, because he's getting on a bit. He's retired from international football. He's away to Aberdeen. Maybe they'll not play him. That'd be fucking ideal.
Aye, that would be ideal. Okay, right, that's us out of time. Thanks for tuning in. If you watch this live on YouTube, hit the wee subscribe button, and if you want extra content, head over to our Patreon, where you can sign up and get access to all our subscriber content for just a couple of quid a month. And you can also now gift subscriptions. So with Christmas coming up, it's an ideal present for somebody you might not like that much.